Hi, everyone. My name's Ben Hayworth. I'm the director at Arts for Health in Milton Keynes. And this morning, I'm going to be talking to one of our collaborators and colleagues, Georgia from Black Sheep Collective. Hi.
Hello, I'm Georgia from Black Sheep Collective. I'm a theatre maker, director, and facilitator, and I worked on the HEADSTART Drama project as the lead facilitator on this cohort, which was really exciting.
Fantastic. So, for those people that don't know, I guess we should explain what Head Start is. So, what do you think it is?
Head Start for me is a youth-led part of Arts for Health, where we're engaging a younger audience of young people who are suffering with mental health challenges at the moment, that are seeking help, seeking some guidance, and it becomes an extra curriculum activity for them to really connect with who they are as an individual, with other people, and really start to unpick maybe some of those challenges that they're suffering with at the moment.
So, why do you think doing drama and theatre and performance and that sort of stuff helps people with mental health issues?
I believe it's an opportunity that you can leave some of your problems at the door, maybe, and really become someone slightly different for the hour and a half that you're engaging with that group. It allows you to escape, to play, to create and have fun, and maybe channel some of those inner thoughts that you have in your head, but in a different way, and allow you to think about things in a slightly new way of thinking. And it's a way of opening up opportunities, I think, which
Sure.
breaks down some of those barriers that mental health challenges can have on young people.
Yeah, and I think as well with this particular group that they're not going to be the people with the highest acuity of mental health challenges, are they? And some of them won't have a diagnosis.
Mhm.
So on the one hand, there's a slightly preventative kind of lens that we're doing this
Yeah.
through, and also it's also around creating some more sociability amongst young people. They might be feeling lonely. And that type of thing as well. And I guess there's also a knock-on effect in the broader community around parents, isn't there?
I agree. And actually that's also something really great that we were able to offer this cohort, is a safe space for parents to wait during the sessions. So actually there were some natural conversations that were happening, some commonalities found amongst parents, which actually was quite a nice little side to the main focus of the project.
Sure, sure. So rewinding all the way back to January, which
Yeah,
feels like a long time ago
it
now.
really does.
Um, the first day, so the
Mhm.
first day of the course, how many people turned up?
So we had 13 overall, which was a
Mhm.
great outcome on the first day. And I always enter the first day of a project with several feelings of anticipation, excitement, a little bit of nervousness. So
Trepidation.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I always kind of imagine that the participants are feeling exactly the same. So we almost go in at a common kind of place, which is quite nice. And I always also remind participants that I'm feeling that way too. Um,
Mm-mm.
but the atmosphere was quite unsettled, I have to admit. The young people turned up really anxious, really nervous, which I totally anticipated, probably more so than a normal new group of drama students coming together. Um, the room felt a little bit eerie, a bit, or not many people knew how to kind of act, like the rules or the boundaries hadn't been set within that space. So everyone felt a little bit nervous around each other. We had a couple of tears, but I made sure that everyone was reassured and that we were ready to go and that we were all in the same place. At the end of the day, we'd not met each other, and we just started all at the same place. We were all a bit nervous, but we all wanted to have a nice time and have fun on that first session and really start to build relationships, which was what those first few sessions were all about: building
So
connections.
building
Build,
connections, yeah. So it's quite a few challenges as a facilitator there for you to
mm,
kind of overcome initially, and you're not the only artist who tells me that the first sessions can often be some of the most challenging with
yeah.
these people. I just wonder, what was the first activity that you did to kind of break the ice?
What I always do is a kind of name exercise. So we all just sat down in a circle, got everybody really comfortable, and it was introduce your name, and then it was introduce your favorite story, because I think that's always quite a nice a nice thing to start, because there's often commonalities in the group, and it also was my kind of facilitator hat on, trying to work out where our project was going, so finding out what sort of stories, what sort of characters the young people were into, so then I could mold that into the sessions later on during the program.
Sure. And as we move forward during the program, a lot of our Head Start courses, they can sometimes last, 8, 10, 12 weeks, that sort of thing. I imagine there would have been a bit of a turning point at some point, maybe, I don't know, just under halfway through, where people kind of went from being shy to being a lot more engaged. And I wonder what that felt like for you as a facilitator.
Yeah, I think it was about week 3 or 4 actually, where people's voices were starting to come out a bit more. Little conversations were happening. People were forming little groups and little connections, which we could see in the group work, as well as when we were kind of playing games and exercises and things like that. And I remember there was a time where I had to kind of remind the group to listen to instructions. There was a bit too much hubbub, so I turned to my assistant and we were like, okay, we've cracked them, because actually those were signs that there were some changes in the room and that people were making those meaningful connections. And actually I didn't really want to shush them, because it was
Yeah.
such an atmosphere, and actually that was the way that this space should feel. Like, it should feel creative and buzzing. So that was a real lovely moment within the program.
And then thinking towards the end of the course, after you kind of got to your end point. In fact, I guess it'd be nice to hear what that end point actually looked and felt like.
Yeah, so we gave the group the choice on what they wanted that end result to be, whether that was to be just a really informal sharing amongst each other, whether that was going to be something visual, whether that was going to be a performance. And actually all of the children wanted to create something that they would perform and the audience come to attend. And actually the space that we use is a theatre, so we were able to put something on the theatre stage. And what it was a piece that they created based on some stimulus. So I brought in some props, and each prop had its own story, so young people would come together to create stories around each of those props. It was just a really nice vehicle for them to communicate some of their creative storytelling and link back to that favourite story exercise I did right at the beginning.
It's a bit of a circular kind of structure to
Exactly.
that works really well, doesn't it?
And just to see them on stage was incredible. From that first point, you just had to remind yourself that that's where we started and this is where we ended. It was incredible. And even if not all the children performed, some of them were taking on technical roles. So they were doing the music, they were helping with props, they were helping with some costume elements. So everybody really came together at the end, which is
wonderful.
What the whole point of this
You mentioned before that there was an audience for that. Was that parents or
Yeah, that was parents and guardians. So whoever they wanted to invite, and there was no pressure to invite anybody, but it was if they wanted to. And it was a very safe and supportive audience.
I remember, I'm just going to talk about my own experiences here for one minute. I remember when I was 16, which is a very long time ago now, I did a drama course a bit like this over in Doncaster, where I used to live, and it was transformational for me. I ended up doing a drama degree, and goodness knows what else happened as a result of it. I probably wouldn't be here now doing this interview for that. So I feel like I'm kind of an example of how important this kind of activity can and will be for young people, especially. We're really lucky to have quite a considerable amount of funding from the Big Lottery Community Fund to work in partnership to take this forward over the next few years. I wonder what's next, and can other kids come and join this?
Yeah, of course. So from September, we're launching a new cohort of 11 weeks. But this is for slightly older young people. So we're going from 13 to 17, which is significantly older than the last group that we engaged with. So I think it would be a really great opportunity to support younger people who might feel even more isolated, where they haven't been part of a club or anything like this before, and just a really positive way of engaging with other young people in similar situations.
Wonderful. And if you're watching this and you know a young person of that age group who wants to come along and join this course, all you need to do is contact Arts for Health Norton Keynes at info@artsforhealthmk.org.uk, and hopefully we can facilitate some sort of referral for you and get the ball rolling. Georgia, it's been lovely to speak to you this morning. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ben, and I can't wait to get the next cohort up and ready.
Brilliant.
Thank you.